So, from last session, I wanted to ask that. So whenever we are having all these, like, some like sorrow or like any problems, we just pray. Oh, we'll just say, "Oh, take me out of this, bring me out of this trouble," or take out this difficulty for me, and all that. When we pray to God, so does that mean, is that Paroksha Ishvara, or what is it? Are we praying to Paroksha Ishvara at that time?
Okay, so the question is that, right? So who are we praying to? Paroksha Ishvara or Aparoksha Ishvara? Well, I don't know enough. And so it has to be Paroksha Ishvara. And because that is what everybody portrays Ishvara as. But some in our culture also they do say Ishvara yaha hai, Devudu ikkada unnadu. So therefore, this Ishvara only I am praying. So that is also correct. So you are praying the Ishvara, who I used to think it was Paroksha, but it is Aparoksha. So I am praying to Aparoksha Ishvara.
Aparoksha Ishvara. Okay.
Pray to Aparoksha Ishvara. You can also pray to Paroksha Ishvara. Okay. But the prayer is, in a way, prayer is not affected by whether Ishvara is Paroksha or Aparoksha. Bhakti is there. Bhakti is there because Ishvara in Bhagavan to हमारा पूर्ण श्रद्धा है. So full Vishwasa is there, Shraddha is there. Therefore, they are unshakable. So my prayer is not affected by that. But then, Jnanam, when we talk about Jnanam, the Paroksha Ishvara has to become Aparoksha. Jnanam can't be of Paroksha Ishvara. If Jnanam is of Paroksha Ishvara, then let's analyze this a little bit. Suppose this knowledge that Krishna is talking about is about Paroksha Ishvara. A Bhagavan who is somewhere in some place. That means he has to describe that Bhagavan. Okay, form will be there. Some place must be there. Vaikuntha must be properly described. Because I'm going there, no? We have a GPS and all that. If you're going to a place, you must map everything out. You must know the address, everything. And what are the landmarks? How do I recognize this place? You ask all these questions. It is near this big stucco building and all that tall building, 3-storied building. All this, you take a right there. So all that Krishna has to explain to us. That is why Bhagavatam and all these stories are important. That is why what dress he wears, Pitambara, etc. very important. And flute playing and all that, Gopi and all very important. Why? Because Paroksha Ishvara means that is how it is. We are exploring this idea. What is the idea? Paroksha Ishvara versus Aparoksha Ishvara. Correct? So if Bhagavan is talking about Paroksha Ishvara, then we have to go to a scripture where Bhagavan is described in all glory, all colors, all shapes and forms, and where he is located. That location description also must be there. And Vaikuntha, how is Vaikuntha? What will happen there when I go there? Who are all dancing? When will the dance program start? All these ideas must be given clearly, which is what all stories talk about. That is Paroksha Ishvara. Paroksha Ishvara means Saguna Ishvara. Saguna Ishvara means Ishvara with all qualities.
Form.
Correct. And then you can ask, okay, so this is great, Vaikuntha is great. How many other places are there like that? We should ask. There must be other places, because if there is one place, there must be other places which may not be as attractive. So they talk about so many lokas. Sapta. So 14 lokas are there. Correct? Puhu, Bhuvaha, Suvaha, Mahaha, Janaha, Tapaha, Satyam. Then again 7 lokas below. Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Talatala, Rasatala, Mahatala, Patala. Correct? 4 or 7. 7 down, 7 below. That's why the 7 up. 7 up. We all have this 7 up. There is a drink, right? 7 up. 7 up comes from where you think? It's all Om. Arey, we've been doing Om Bhuhu, Om Bhuvaha, Om Suvaha, Om Maha, Om Janaha, Om Tapaha, Om Ogum Satyam, Om Tatsaviturvrenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodaya. Hey, for ages we've been chanting this. And there it is 7 up. 7 up idea comes from us. Anyway, so now you understand. Paroksha Ishvara. Is Krishna talking about Paroksha Ishvara or Aparoksha Ishvara? That is what we are talking about. Here, of course, there is no description at all. He doesn't talk about his real estate value and all. He doesn't say all that. Whether the value has gone up, pandemic, the value has come down or gone. He doesn't say anything like that. So it can't be Paroksha Ishvara. Paroksha Ishvara, he can't say. Saha Mam, he can't say. Jnani to Atma eva me matam, he can't say that statement. If Paroksha Ishvara cannot make that statement. Because Paroksha Ishvara is up there and I am up here. How can he make that statement? Even after I go to Vaikuntha, he can't make the statement. Why? Because I am different from him. I may be close to Krishna, but I am not Krishna. Krishna also is not me. I am not Krishna. Even in heaven, correct? Yes or no?
Yeah. Yes. That's right.
Making you think a little bit?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
Good question. Okay, Mahesh ji. So anyway, but your answer to your question is, we don't have to. Our bhakti is unaffected by Paroksha Ishvara, Aparoksha Ishvara for now. But then later on, once there is clarity, then the bhakti can only be Eka Bhakti. There is no separate person. And therefore, when I do puja, will a jnani do puja or not? If you ask the question. Jnani need not do puja. That is why it's sannyasi. If a jnani, that's why we have a sannyasa ashrama. And what the ashrama does, it takes away all the dharmas of a sannyasi. Correct? It takes away all the dharmas. Previously, the previous ashrama, all these things are required. You are supposed to do rituals. Grasthas have to do rituals. It's given. So, Janakadayaha talked about. Janaka may be a jnani, but that person has to go through all the requirements, all the dharma of his grahastha ashrama. Correct? Doesn't matter, jnani also. But if you don't want to do the karma, then the only option is to become a sannyasi. Sannyasi need not do anything. Puja prarthana not there. And as far as this one, Shankara is concerned, sannyasi and jnani are not two different people. Those days, that's how it was. Okay? Those days, that's how it was. And so, therefore, a jnani need not do puja, because puja to whom? Worship whom? Who will you worship?
Yeah, because both are
There is
same.
no second.
There's
Both
no
are
second
identical.
thing.
There is no second. Suppose we say namaste. We are doing namaste to somebody. If somebody is not there, you are there everywhere. Suppose there's a mirror, room full of mirrors, and you look around everywhere, you see yourself. Will you say namaste? I don't think we will say namaste.
Yeah, because there's
Because
no
there is
second.
nobody other. No second, exactly.
Okay. Now I got it. Yeah, I'm clear.
Right. Yeah. So Mahesh, go ahead.
Namaste. I'm trying to make something I heard a few years ago. So this is not so much of a question rather than a statement. Rather a statement. So about 10 years ago, I listened to a lecture in...
Mahesh, just 1 minute. Just 1 minute.
So it's about 10 years ago, I happened to listen to a lecture with somebody. I don't want to elaborate further, but
your voice is going in and out. Okay, and it's maybe if you come closer or something, it might help.
Are you able to hear me?
Yeah, now it's better.
Okay.
Keep the mic
about
close.
10 years ago, I happened to listen to a lecture that was not so much on Bhagavad Gita, but he was quoting slokas from some Bhagavad Gita. And I remember this particular sloka, 7:17, how differently it was explained. It was explained saying that See, Krishna very clearly says, everybody has to be only bhakti to me, others are all useless. This is literally what he said. And I mean, I mean, at that time I didn't know a whole lot. So I said, okay, so maybe I thought, okay, he was driving that, everybody to a certain direction to take. And he quoted, no, there's no point talking to, praying to anybody. It's very clearly says, in many chapters he says, me, me, me. So everything has to be to me. So what I'm trying to say is, these are interpreted in many different distinct ways. And, one can, I'm not saying others are wrong or anything like that, but I'm saying is, it's the way they interpret, it's totally different than, what say we listen to you today, or I listen to you today. So I just want to make that comment. That's all.
Yes, absolutely. So we get into a lot of problems. Defending the Krishna is the only God concept is going to be very difficult. Going to be very difficult. Because the minute somebody brings another scripture from somewhere taught by somebody else and says, I am the one who should worship, then both the visions go down. Because now anybody can come and say, you must worship me. So that's why Krishna is a Jagat Guru. When we say Jagat Guru, we say, correct? We don't say Ishvara of the Jagat, we say Jagat Guru. Why? Because he is the one who removes this idea of Paroksha Ishvara and makes Ishvara Aparoksha. That is why he is Jagat Guru. Okay. Good. Yeah, Vaidyaji, go ahead.
Yes, Jaykumar, this is a question on the phrase Anuttamam Gatim. So, Uttamam Gatim is there. Anuttamam Gatim, it may seem like it's a negation of Uttamam Gatim, right? So, can you talk? I mean, this is very nuanced. So, can you please elaborate? And I think it will be very valuable for all of us to know this.
Right. So, let's give some, maybe example is the best way to do it. Dharmaha, adharmaha. Dharma, we know what dharma is. When you put a there, then it becomes adharma, which is not dharma, which is opposite of dharma. That is the typical way this thing works. Okay. This is called Tatpurusha Samasaha. Nanj Tatpurusha. That negation, that particle that negates what follows is called Nanj. It's a prefix called Nanj. Okay. And there are 6 types of Nanj, etc. There are rules are there. We don't have to get into that. Okay. And so one of the meanings only is opposite. Okay. And there are other things, opposite, less, alpam also. Like suppose somebody says, Dhanikaha is a Dhanika. One who has wealth is called a Dhanika. Wealthy person. Adhanikaha. Adhani means what? Dhani means wealthy. Adhani means what? One who has no money at all? No. One who has no money is not Adhani. One who has much less, he could have more. Okay. That person is Adhani. That means there it is not opposite. One who has wealth, one who has no wealth. No, not opposite. Alparthe Nanj. Alparthe. That is little. The sense of small quantity. Okay, that is Adhani. Like this, there are many things. Okay. This is one type of meaning given to the prefix a. It's called Tatpurusha Samasa. Then there is another samasa called Bahuvrihi. Bahuvrihi. Let me explain this Bahuvrihi by giving an example. Pitambaraha. Pitambaraha. What is Pitambaraha?
A yellow dress.
Huh?
Pita is yellow. Pita is yellow. Ambara can mean dress.
Sorry. Space. What did you say?
Ambara can mean dress.
Dress. Okay. Yellow dress. Pita ambara. Yellow dress. But when we say Pita, when somebody is called Pitambara, who are we referring to? We're referring to yellow dress. Who is Pitambara?
The person wearing it.
Person wearing it,
Vishnu.
referring to Krishna. Referring to Krishna.
Vishnu.
Pitambaraha. Okay. Pitambaraha. So look at this beauty. Okay. Pita is yellow. Krishna is not yellow. Yellow is a color. Krishna is a person. Okay. Yellow is a color. So Pita, the word Pita doesn't really apply to Krishna. I mean, it's not Krishna. Ambaram, let's say cloth. Okay. Cloth. Krishna is not a cloth. A person and a cloth are two different things. So on the one side you got yellow cloth, and on the other side the meaning of the word refers to a person wearing a yellow cloth. How did this happen? Pitam Ambaram, I can understand yellow cloth if you say. Now you are telling about a person wearing a yellow cloth. Oh, that formation is called Bahuvrihi Samasaha. It is very popular in Sanskrit. Okay. Very popular. That word Ananya I quoted. Okay. Ananya. So Anyaha means other. Ananyaha means not other. Okay, not other. That's one meaning of Ananya. Another meaning of Ananya is the one who does not consider Ishvara as Anyaha is an Ananyaha. Two meanings. Okay, once again let me repeat. Anyaha means other. Ananyaha means not other. Not other. I might refer to my daughter and say she is Ananya because she's not somebody else. She's in our family. Okay. Oh, she's us, one among us. She's Ananya. Correct? One among us. Not Anya. Okay, Ananya. That is one meaning. Another meaning of Ananya is one who is not, one who knows that he or she is not separate from God. Different meaning? Agreed that it is a different meaning? One is the basic meaning, Tatpurusha. Another is Bahuvrihi. Same thing here also. Uttamam is great. Anuttamam, one meaning is not great. Tatpurusha Samasa, not great. Bahuvrivi, if you say, one which has nothing else greater than itself. The one who does not have something greater than itself. So that Uttama refers not to that thing but something else. And there is nothing else greater than this. Therefore, this Gati is called Anuttamam Gatihi. It's a construct. It's a particular Bahuvrihi Samasa. Uttamam na vidyate yasya saha anuttamaha. Yasyaha sa anuttama gatihi. A different construct, like Pitambara. Pitambara, Krishna is neither yellow nor dress. Krishna is not a dress for sure. You don't go to the cupboard and pick up Krishna and wear Krishna. No, you don't do that. And so, Pitambara refers to something that is neither Pita nor Ambara. And that refers to a person. There is no indication of person. This Pita doesn't indicate person. Ambara does not indicate person. But you bring a person in, something other than this. You bring something that is neither Pita nor Ambara, and then says the person who wears a Pitambara is called Pitambara. And that person is Krishna, and that person is so and so. Like that we can say. That is a construct called as Samasa, Bahuvrihi Samasa. And this Anuttamam is that kind of a construct. Yes, it's a bit nuanced there.
Last week, Paroksha Ishvaraha was also similar to this, right, Jatmaj? Paroksha Ishvaraha, you were saying, one who does not consider Ishvara as Paroksha, as well as concept of Ishvara that is not Paroksha, right?
Okay, exactly. The minute you bring a person in, then yeah, often you get into Bahuvrihi Samasa. So in Kathoparishad, there is a beautiful mantra. Sutra is there. He says, you know what he says? Shravanaya api bahubiryo na labhyaha. He says, Shravanaya api bahubiryo na labhyaha. You can listen to whatever you want. You can say, I listen to this and that. All 10 Upanishads I finished off this, that, etc. You say, Bahubihi Shravanaya api na labhyaha. Atma na labhyaha. Atma you can't get by whatever study you do. Okay? Na medhaya na bahuna shrutena. Hey, you say, I retained everything. Oh, you think I studied and I forgot everything? No, no, no. I retained, I all analysis, Purva Paksha, Siddhanta, this, that I've studied. Medhaya. Okay, all that I've done. Ananya prokte gatiratra nasti. Ananya prokte gatiratra nasti. Shastram says. He says, there is no gati. Means there is no longer any more travel, any samsara for a person who is taught by ananyaha. Look at this. When a person is taught by an ananyaha, then for that person there is no more samsara. Okay. Now, what is this ananya meaning? That ananya meaning is what we talked about just now. One who does not consider himself or herself as different from Bhagavan, as anya, bhagavataha anyaha yaha na pashyati. Aham bhagavataha anyaha na aham Bhagavan eva. One who does, therefore there also ananya. That word ananya is so beautiful. Ananya. Not other is Tatpurusha meaning. One who does not consider oneself to be not other, or one that does not consider Bhagavan to be another, that person is Ananya, the person who has that vision. And so Shastram says, one who has that vision, and if you are taught by that person, Gatiratra Nasti. Beautiful, is it not? Yeah. So, one who converts Paroksha Ishvara to Aparoksha Ishvara, then that's the Jagat Guru. Otherwise, Jagat Guru and all is meaningless. You keep your God to yourself, I keep my God to myself. Why talk about Jagat Guru and all? Guru itself means Ajnana Nivritti, Yaha Karoti. Mahavakya Upadesha Karta only is Guru. Removes ignorance. When my ignorance of Vaikuntha is removed, I will have Vaikuntha knowledge. When my ignorance of how to go to Vaikuntha is removed, I will have the knowledge of how to go to Vaikuntha. Good, let it be so. But that knowledge is what? Apara Vidyava, Para Vidyava. Remember we talked about Paravidya and Aparavidya. Huh? What Vidya it is?
Is upper, lower quality.
Aparavidya. Aparavidya is not lower quality. Aparavidya is Vidya about any object in this world. Okay. Anything in this world, knowledge of that is Aparavidya. Knowledge of Mithya is Aparavidya. Knowledge of Satyam is Paravidya. Another Upanishad, Mundaka says, Dve Vidya Veditavya. If I go like this will not end. Okay. So that's what we are after. But I'm glad you're asking those questions. Dve Vidya Veditavya. Parachaiva Aparacha. Like that. Angiras Maharshi tells Shaunaka, who approached him and asked him the question he asked him is, Kasminnu Bhagavo Vijñate Sarvamidam Vijñatam Bhavati iti. Hey Bhagavan, tell me that knowing which everything is as good as known. This is the student's question to the teacher. Can you imagine the student? That means the student is already almost a jnani, okay? Almost a jnani, that's it. That is the meaning here. To which he introduces by saying, Tasmai Sahovacha, Dve Vidya Veditavye. Okay, there are two kinds of knowledges, and one is Aparavidya, another is Paravidya. Then he lists Aparavidya. And he says, Tatra Apara, Rigvedo, Yajurvedo, Samavedo, Atharvavedaha, Shiksha, Kalpaha, Vyakaranam, Niruktam, Chandas, Jyotishamiti. My God, he said Yajurveda and Rigveda are Aparavidya. Aparavidya, he says. Very bold statement Upanishad is making. And then after saying all this, Tatra, Atha Para, okay, then Para, Yaya Tadaksharam Adigamyate. That by which that Aksharam Atma is understood, that is called Paravidya. Is not categorical. Upanishad is not categorical. Why? Because the minute I point to something, what will happen? That something will become Anyaha, not Ananyaha. Only Anyaha can be pointed at. Ananyaha cannot be pointed at. And therefore, Upanishad is categorical, is shy, it is not even using a word. Yaya, it says that by which, and leaves it for us to figure out what that is. Huh? Yeah, Bhagyashree ji.
Here, when you say paroksha, paroksha, then religion, is it paroksha or aparoksha?
Paroksha. All religions are Paroksha religions. Paroksha only. Religion means, I'm talking about religion as it is popularly understood. Paroksha Ishvara. And if you want to prove it, you just have to go around and say, I am Ishvara. Just say, I am Ishvara. And if they become more friendly to you, then they believe you. If they say, oh, this lady is crazy, then that means they all believe in Paroksha Ishvara. But yeah, in general, Paroksha Ishvara. We also begin our life.
Then what is Vedanta here? Is Vedanta paroksha or pratyaksha or aparoksha?
Yeah, so general answer is religion talks about Paroksha Ishvara. But Vedanta drills through this question and says Paroksha Ishvara. The minute you are talking about a Ishvara, that is an object that you have placed somewhere. Paroksha Ishvara is Ishvara not here somewhere else, correct? That's what you mean by Paroksha Ishvara.
Yes.
That's how you understand. Okay. So therefore, that Ishvara is limited, not all pervasive. Because that, according to you, that Ishvara is located somewhere in some place. In fact, that Ishvara is not here also, not on earth. You have to go to Vaikuntha to meet Ishvara. And so Vedanta says this is a childish way of understanding Ishvara. Why is it childish? For that we analyze creation, all that, we saw all that. And so childish because when God had to create this world, where did he have to go and get the material? Paroksha Ishvara means he has to get material from somewhere. He has to borrow the material from somewhere, right? Radha, give me something. I'm going to get ready to create. Then that Ishvara is not Satya Ishvara. That Ishvara is Mithya Ishvara, because that Ishvara is depending on material for creation. Correct? What is the definition of Satya and Mithya? That which depends on something else is Mithya. That which is independent, that which does not depend on anything is Satyam. So that Ishvara will become what? Mithya. Because for creation, that man is searching for some material to create with. Our view is what? It is impossible. Before creation, nothing was there. There was no time, there was no space. So the creation must come out of Ishvara. Like the spider creates its web. Like you created the dream last night without borrowing any material from anybody. So that is up, that thinking takes us towards aparoksha Ishvaraha, takes us towards Atma. That is what makes knowing God and knowing the self identical. They're not two different subjects. Knowing God and knowing the self. Brahma Vidya, Atma Vidya. They are not two different things. Ishvara Vidya and Atma Vidya are not two different things. In Vedanta, Advaita Vedanta, Vishishta Advaita is different. Ishvara Vidya is the Ishvara Leela. That entire description is so important. They hate people like us. You know why they hate us? Because we don't give importance to Krishna's flute and his peacock feather and all that. We don't give much importance. His dance and all that don't attract us that much. We will enjoy his dance, but we will say goodbye. Give me, give me the knowledge that you have. That is what we will tell Krishna after enjoying his dance performance. Correct? That is why they don't like us. So Bhagyashree ji, did I confuse you or did I provide some clarification?
I'm still thinking. So religion is based on faith, right? So that is paroksha.
Correct.
Then, like you said, Atma Jnana is, that is also paroksha here or aparoksha? I'm getting late.
Right, right. So the minute we say Ishvara is not paroksha, Ishvara cannot be paroksha because the creation being such, Atma, Bhagavan cannot go somewhere else to get material. Bhagavan has to be all pervasive. The entire creation is pervaded by Ishvara. And then what about me if I ask? Well, Bhagavan is pervading me also. Then who am I will come. Am I this body or what is the question that starts coming. Therefore, the Ishvara Jnanam gets converted to Atma Jnanam. Therefore, Aparokshatvam. All this can happen only with Aparoksha Ishvara.
Right.
I start my life with Paroksha Ishvara. Yes, Paroksha Ishvaratvam is there. But when you say, now I need to understand what it is all. Vicharam na sahate, it seems. Shastram says, this ahankara and all these things can handle anything. But ahankara cannot handle one thing. What is that one thing? This fellow, the minute he asks, what is ahankara? The ahankara is just getting afraid, it seems. Because, oh, he's going to figure out my true nature. I'm masquerading as some big guy, etc. And then this fellow is asking, who is this big guy? So, and then God also. God also will get, he will keep on, he will, all our archanas and all the pujas he will get. And he's also afraid of this. He's not afraid, but he also says, oh, this fellow is studying Advaita Vedanta. Okay. So I think he will stop doing puja for us after some time. I think we have to, one less devotee, like that Bhagavan will say. But here he is saying, not saying that. Here he is saying, Eka Bhakti hi Vishishyate. That is the Bhakti. Ananya Bhakti is the greatest Bhakti. That love, nobody. Love for the self is the greatest love. Therefore, that love, in fact, only that person can say, I love God. I have bhakti to God. That person is the one who can really say that, because that bhakti is ananya bhakti. Everybody else's bhakti is also important, but it's shaky bhakti, correct? Conditional bhakti. Conditional bhakti. Based on what you give me only, I will love you.
So here, then Ramakrishna, they are all aparoksha jnani then?
See, the minute we have a form, in our puja room, we have a form of Rama. Kodanda Panihi, Sita is there, Hanuman is there. Okay, that form is important. For any prarthana, any prayer, any puja, any homa, a form is needed. We cannot worship a formless God because we need to connect. The brain needs something to hold on to, and that form is very important, sacred. Rama's form is very sacred. Sita's form is very sacred for us, and we can't live without them. Okay, they are part of our life. Okay, so that is paroksha. But understand that the study will lead you to aparokshatvam, and then you can just smile at Rama.
Oh.
You can say, thank you, my prayers have been fulfilled. You can now really do Shashtanga Namaskara and says, thank you for bringing me to this Vidya. Correct?
Yes.
Suppose Rama asks you, hey, all these years you've been worshipping me, what happened? Anything happened or not? Yes, it happened. Thank you. Confidently, we should be able to say. You can't say, no, I got 5 children, therefore thank you. That is okay. That is a different kind of thank you. Correct?
Yes.
That's it.
Dhanyawada Jayakumar.
Yeah. Haraprasad ji. Yeah, Swapna. Okay, one second.
Is
Yeah, you need to
Haraprasad?
unmute. You need to unmute yourself, Haraprasad ji.
Okay. So use between para and apara. So it is wrong to say. So there are two different two different varieties. Or
They means
one
what?
is
They mean what are you referring to?
parajnana and aparajnana.
Okay.
When you say, for example, the way I understood when Shaunaka asked Angirasa, when he replied, and I thought physics, chemistry, biology, mathematics is all lower quality jnana. Is the word lower is wrong to use?
See, I don't like to use the word lower. I mean, it's okay. Some people translate it as lower. But
Yeah,
Jnanam is Saraswati. Jnanam is physics Saraswati Devi are not supposed to ask you. What will you say?
absolutely.
Absolutely. Is Saraswati lowly? Lower?
No.
So now you are saying, on the one hand, you are saying lower Vidya. On the other hand, Saraswati is not lower, you are saying.
No,
Which one is
I'm
correct?
translating only the word apara and para.
Fair enough. So the way to understand is lower, higher, and all gets us into problems. I'm
Okay.
saying is understand this as knowledge of object, knowledge of subject.
Okay.
That knowledge of object is aparavidya.
Okay.
Knowledge of subject is paravidya. That's it. Crystal clear. This high, low,
Okay.
and all that we will start imagining. High means what high? Is it a question of height? Or is it a question of something else? We'll start imagining this height, and that's why we should not use this word lower, higher. A lot of books use that. So you drop the word lower and higher. That is okay initially for understanding, because we can't understand. In fact, it only confuses us. But the person should say, when the person translates it as lower, the person should explain what is that word lower. I am saying lower means object vidya. Neither lower nor high. Object is object. That's it. Subject, self-conscious, I is that vidya, self-existent I is paravidya. Everything else shines after me. Na tatra suryo bhati na chandra tarakam nema vidyuto bhanti kutoyam agnihi. So even the lightning shines after me. That is what the shloka is saying. So knowledge of lightning is what? Aparavidya. Knowledge of any knowledge of any solar system or any other cosmic system is all aparavidya. Why? Because it is object. It is an object of my perception. Therefore, aparavidya. What about me, Atma, the perceiver? That is paravidya. Why do I need the shastram for paravidya? Because there is no other way. I can't even guess, I can't even dream that aham purnaha, aham ananda swarupaha. I can't even guess, because my experience is I am a dukhi, I am a mortal. There is no question of even imagining that I am immortal, because I am confused with my body constantly and mind. This is all I know about myself, my accomplishments. Okay, if I've done a lot, I have a big resume to read out. This is me. That me is not immortal. That me is going to pass away, and people will forget that me after I'm gone. Correct? Therefore, Shastram is needed.
So tell me,
Therefore, then,
tell me
tell
what subject means. How do you define that?
So, subject, that which is not an object is the subject.
Okay. Okay. All right. So his subject is self. Can you say it?
Anything you objectify is not yourself, correct? Is the object. What is the object? Let's start with a simpler question. Let's not ask such this difficult questions. Simple. What is object? Let's start with the basics. Object. Okay, all these things are object. What else? Tell me big. Let's put a list of all objects we know. Is the solar system an object? Yes. Is the earth an object? Yes. Is the house an object? Yes. Tree is an object? Yes. Then slowly it'll come closer and closer. Body, is it an object or not? First we have to ask this question. We have to ask first this question. Before coming to subject and all, we have to ask this question. Is body an object or subject?
Object.
How do you answer this question? What is the answer to that question? We have to settle this, otherwise there is no Vedanta possible, correct? Is body an object or subject? And so we will be, after analyzing, we will be forced to say body is what?
Object.
Subject.
Object.
This is
Object.
The body is object, but self is subject.
So the question is, what is the body?
What is
So
the
physical
body is
body.
object? Body is definitely object.
Why body is object?
Because you can see it. It is a body, you can see it.
Good start. Yad drishyam tad vastu tad object. Yad drishyam. So that is Shastram. You use the word Shastram is used, except you said in English. Okay. That which is perceived is an object.
Yeah. Drukshya viveka.
That which is perceived is an object.
Yeah.
Therefore, immediately, what is mind? Are you the mind if I say? Mind is subject or object?
Object.
Object.
Mind
Object.
is subject. Enama? Sabadu. Mind is
Object.
object, obviously. Why is mind object?
Because there are, the way I have read in Shastra, there are mind is ahankara is all considered object.
Okay, that is your answer. Any other answers from the class?
You can perceive
anything.
your thoughts.
Anything it is the object. I say this is object.
No, Prasad, you're a bit confusing. Vijay, what did you say?
I said you can perceive your thoughts. So
Correct. That is the answer I'm looking for. Let's not go round and in Shastra and all that. What is it? I see my thoughts or not. If I say I am sad, I know the sadness is there in the
Yeah.
mind. There's something
Yeah.
I don't like. I am the perceiver of the sadness. Only then I can open my mouth and say something. I am sad. How do you know I'm sad? Well, look at my mind. Look at all the things that are going on in my life. That is why I'm sad. Okay. You've seen all the things going on in my life, and then I have an emotion. I'm the observer of the emotion. The mind cannot speak. And so I say I am sad. Therefore, I can say the mind is object. Correct?
Okay.
Yes.
This is the inquiry, no, Hariprasad. This is the inquiry. Then who am I? Suddenly, who is the subject? Who am I? Question will come. That's it. That's it. That is the starting point of inquiry. The minute we have recognized this Drik Drishya Viveka, who is that perceiver? Then that which you cannot perceive is the subject.
Okay.
That is one answer to that question. Who is the subject? One answer to that is that which you cannot perceive is the subject. How can you perceive yourself? Sense paranchikani vetranat swayambhuhu. The sense organs are going to be outward looking, including the mind also. They have no way of looking at myself. They have no way of knowing. Even sense organs don't even know that there is a mind behind the sense organs. Correct?
Yes.
Yes or no?
Yes.
Correct. Because sense organs is less settled than the mind.
Yes.
And so the mind has to be there behind the senses. Sense organs don't even know that. They can't know anything. They're jada. And so they are jada. What about mind? Mind is jadam or
Jada. Jada.
Mind is jada. Why mind is jada? Because it is perceived. Anything that is perceived is jada.
Yeah.
Ahankara is jada or chetana.
Jada.
Why jada?
The Shastram says that.
Shastram says so. Bhumirapo nano. Quote if you say, then you can quote. Bhumirapo nano vayuhu kham mano buddhi revache ahankara iti yamme bhinna prakriti rashtada. We can even quote some mantras.
Yeah, right.
So, ahankara is a thought. I thought. It's a thought. That identity. I know. I am. Is a thought, and that thought is perceived by me very much, and therefore that thought also is mithya, that thought also is vastu, that thought also is drishyam in the drig drishya vivek. Yeah, that's how it goes.
Dhanyavadaha,
We,
Mahoday.
we continue. I mean, it's already 8:25 here.
Beautiful.
So Vijay has a question, and I think Swapna also has a question. Let's quickly
Yeah.
hear those questions. Yeah,
No,
Swapna, go ahead.
That's just Swapna.
Okay.
Swapna, go ahead.
I hope this is a quick question. So whenever you use the word paroksha, aparoksha, maybe it's my brain. I take a few seconds to understand the words because para and apara are the opposite, right? Paroksha is equivalent to apara vidya.
Good
Aparoksha is
question.
equivalent to para
Good
vidya.
question. Good question. Correct.
I had
So
the same
Swapna,
question.
you all see Swapna's confusion?
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
Correct. She's saying, hey, you say on the one hand Paravidya, Atma Vidya is Paravidya. Then suddenly you are saying Ishvara, Aparoksha Ishvara is this thing. Yeah, those two paras have different meanings. Correct. That's it.
So how is there an etymological, is there a difference? How do I quickly figure it out when you're talking?
Yeah, you figure it out by doing Savanam. Yeah, Savanam is the only way to figure it out. That's how
Okay,
I figure it out.
okay, we'll do that. I
Yeah,
promise.
we'll come back. We'll come back to etymology another time also. Yeah.
Okay. Another quick question. 13th verse, first line, the last word Jagat. So it is Jagat, but when we chant, we say Jagata, right? So is it because of the chandas? We don't stop as Jagat. We say it is Jagat.
Idam dharite. Which shloka you are talking about?
13, 7th, 13, 7, 13.
Yeah.
Tribhir Gudamair
Yeah.
Bhavaihi Ebihi Sarvamidam Jagat.
Jagat.
So
Okay.
is it because of chandas?
No, it is not Jagata. It is Jagat.
I know it is Jagat, but when we chant, we don't say Jagat and stop there, right? We say Jagata.
Ye bhisarvamidam Jagat. Because
Jagat.
Jagata, I now I won't say Jagata. See, the thing is, stretch that sound, no?
Okay.
Ye bhisarvamidam Jagat. You know, the raga lam podam. We like to put some raga and all that. That is why that it sounds like you are putting a vowel there, akara. But otherwise, no, there's no akara.
Okay, Dhanyavad. That's it.
Yeah. Vijay Mahodaya.
No, same question. Para and apara and paroksha and aparoksha, I was also getting confused because we are saying apara vidya. Apara vidya is object, knowledge of the object, and para vidya is subject. But when it comes to paroksha and aparoksha, it was the other way. Same thing that Swapnaji
So
asked.
Param, see, para vidya, para stands to Param. Param means greatest.
Okay.
That is why Araprasaji's question, Aparam means lower. If Param is great, what is Aparam? Aparam is not great. Therefore, lower knowledge. Apara vidya, lower, not great, inferior. Superior knowledge, inferior knowledge. Like that they will translate. Correct? Because the word Param sometimes is translated as superior. Correct? Superior. But I'm saying that the word inferior, superior will only confuse us. I don't want you to think like that. Nothing is inferior or superior in this world. Everything is useful. When you have a headache, you have to take that aspirin. Aspirin is inferior or superior if I ask you. I'm telling you, this migraine, I have a migraine. Okay, I used to have migraine, right? And from a young age, I used to have. Okay, am I audible?
Yes. Yeah.
And then so in the US they used to give all these medicines and all that, and I used to be, when I get a migraine, I'll be gone for 2 days, 3 days, 4 days. I'll be gone, out flat. I can't even go to work. And so they used to give some medicines, etc. Finally one medicine started working. This Brufen was working well, 200 mg, okay, ibuprofen. Then another doctor comes here, and here this doctor says, Jaykumar, Brufen has some side effects, okay? Don't take that. He says, take this paracetamol with caffeine. Okay, there is something called Crocin pain relief. That is the name of the medicine. And I tried that. It works like wonder. Paracetamol. And also, I will get a headache if I don't have some tea or coffee in the morning. Okay, there are addictions, okay? There are I don't, there are personal issues. Addiction is pure addiction. By 11 o'clock in the morning, if I don't have coffee or tea, I will start getting a headache. There problem is there. So therefore, the caffeine works, and I not only I'll get a headache, this becomes a migraine headache. For 3 days, I will just be down. Therefore, I must have that coffee or tea in the morning. So tell me now, lower is aspirin. This aspirin is it lower or higher? If you say, hey, it's very high in my list of things. Wherever I go, I carry that medicine. Okay, very high, not lower at all. That is why I'm saying you can let translations be. But how do you understand the word lower? That is what I'm interested in. And higher. And lower is knowledge of object is aparavidya, knowledge of subject is paravidya. So there the word para refers to param, but paroksha, the word does not refer to param, refers to para. Para means away. Para word has many meanings. Look up the dictionary. You yourself can figure it out. Okay. Aparam bhavato janma, param janma vivasvataha, kathame tadvijani aparam. That aparam, what is the meaning of aparam? It has nothing to do with Apara Vidya and all that, lower and all that. Aparam means your Janma was much later. Later. Aparam. In Tamil we say Aparam. Aparam means what? Same Aparam there. The Sanskrit Aparam. Same Aparam. Later. Yeah, Krishna, you're saying all kinds of vague statements. Surya, Devata and all long ago. You are now Aparam. Politely he's saying Aparam. Later. You were born much later.
So, Vidyaji has written, Para Vidya results in Aparoksha Jnanam.
Yeah. Yeah, so that is correct, right? That is
Correct.
that's what they say. Paroksha Jnanam versus Aparoksha Jnanam. So I'm
Ah,
saying
Jaikum.
that etymology. So now as for etymology, etymology that there is para and apara is param, param brahma, that param. But paroksha and aparoksha is not param brahma param.
Para.
It is the param later in that example. Here away.
Away.
Distance wise gap. Where there's a gap, that param means gap.
Clear.
A gapless Ishvara versus gap-filled Ishvara. Correct?
Very nice.
Good. My
Jaikumarji,
goodness, you are asking tough questions.
it's not a question, but I'm just, so Pratyaksha is like grass body and then Paroksha is like Sukshma.
Okay. So I will do this. Next class, I will start with some explanation of this Pratyaksha, Paroksha, etc. I will do that. And so Pratyaksha essentially, Bhageshji, is perception. Perception.
Okay.
Pratyaksha is perception. So
All right.
Pratyaksham Ainadu Vadu. Suppose you say Pratyaksha, that means what? Oh, all along you've been away from us. Now you have come here. So you are Pratyaksha. I saw you. Pratyaksha. You become Pratyaksha. But Atma is a Pratyaksha or what? Is Atma Pratyaksha?
It's
Yeah, Ramesh,
Atma
please.
is not Pratyaksha.
Correct. Atma is not Pratyaksha.
Paroksha.
Pratyaksha means that which you can perceive close by, something you can see with your own eyes, hear with your own ears. That is Pratyaksha. Atma cannot be seen. Asparsham, Ashabdam, Asparsham, Arasamagandam, like that Shastra is going to say later on. Not cannot be perceived. Therefore, Atma is not Pratyaksha. But Pratyaksha is so important. In the court of law, Pratyaksha, eyewitness is so important. Correct? Because that is it. That is the clinching deal. You can bring all kinds of data, but Pratyaksha, eyewitness is the one that clinches the whole deal. So Pratyaksha is important, but Atma is apratyaksham. Atma is not aparoksham also. It is not paroksham, it is aparoksham. It is not away. It is so close that there can't be anything closer than Atma. That is the meaning of aparoksham. So close, you can say, my body is very close to me. Okay, but you can perceive your body or not? I can perceive my body. No, my mind is the closest to me. Okay, but can you perceive the thoughts or not? If you can perceive your thoughts, that means there is a perceiver and there is a perceived. That means there is a gap between the two. But this aparoksha means there is no gap at all. So close that there is absolutely no gap. Which means what? Aham. I. Correct? Good. So we will continue this discussion. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Dhanvantaraye Amrita Kalachahastaya Sarvamaya Vinashanaya Trailokyanathaya Sri Mahavishnave Namaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Dhanvantaraye Amrita Kalachahastaya Sarvamaya Vinashanaya Trailokyanathaya Sri Mahavishnave Namaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya धन्वन्तरये अमृतकलशहस्ताय सर्वामय विनाशनाय त्रैलोक्यनाथाय श्रीमहाविष्णवे नमः. Thank you all very much. See you next Monday.